Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Sheviit. We are up to Perik Zayin Mishnah Daled. Today's Mishnah should be Leilu Nishmat Neria ben Svedlana Aranbai Menuchato Began Eden. Amen. Yesterday we learned how you are not allowed to do business with non-kosher species, with anything that the Torah prohibits. Today's Mishnah is going to bring cases where you are allowed to sell sacred or forbidden animals. Lakach bechor lemishte beno. If somebody bought a blemished firstborn animal to slaughter it for his son's wedding, in that case, we know you are allowed to buy and eat a blemished firstborn animal, like we learned yesterday. O laregel, or if you bought it for a festival, v'lo tzarich lo, and then you do not need it, mutar lemecho, you are allowed to sell it, because since you do not buy it in order to do business with it, it is allowed to be sold. But the Rav says, even in this case, you have to sell at the original price. You cannot make a profit from the sale. The Mishnah continues, tzadei chaya ofot v'dagim. If trappers of wild animal, fowl, or fish, shenizdamnu lehem minim tmeim, if they happen to come across non-kosher species, which means, the Mifashim explained, they were trying to trap kosher species, but non-kosher species got caught in their traps or nets, mutarin lo mochran, they are allowed to sell them, because since the non-kosher creatures entered the traps or nets by accident, and the trapper did not go out of his way to obtain them, selling them is not considered a business activity that would be forbidden by the Torah. Now, this Tana specifically, look at his language, he says, tzadeh chaya ufot v'dagim, trappers, which refers to people who earn their livelihood by trapping animals. In his opinion, the Rav says, according to this Tanakama, only they are allowed to sell non-kosher species that they happen to catch, but other people are not allowed to do so. And the Mifashim explain, even though Mina Torah, biblical law, someone is allowed to sell a non-kosher animal that he trapped by chance, the Chachamim forbade selling it. Now, the ruling of the first Tana, who we quoted right now, is a special leniency that the rabbis gave to professional trappers. Why? The Mifashim explain, because they had to pay heavy taxes to the government for the animals they caught, which they could not afford if they were not allowed to sell any animal, kosher or non-kosher, that happened to come across their way, right? They would have, in order to pay the tax, they would have to be able to sell it. Therefore, Chachamim gave them this leniency, but this leniency does not apply to ordinary people who don't have to pay these taxes. Therefore, according to this Tana, if someone who is not a professional trapper, happens to catch a non-kosher species, he cannot sell it. However, Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. Rabbi Yehuda says, Af mi nitmana lo lefi darko, even someone who was not a professional trapper, who chanced upon a non-kosher animal, lokechu mocher, he can take it and he can sell it, because Rabbi Yehuda says the rabbinic law does not forbid selling non-kosher animals that were obtained by chance. Therefore, anyone, whether he's a professional trapper or not, who happens to find a non-kosher animal can take it and sell it. Ubilvad shelo tiheh umaneto bekach, as long as this doesn't become his practice, meaning even though Rabbi Yehuda allows a person to sell a non-kosher animal that he finds by chance, he cannot make it his practice to seek out such finds, to go try to find them. But the sages forbid someone who is not a professional trapper to sell a non-kosher animal, even if he chanced upon it. And the Rav tells us, Rabbi Yehuda, the halakha follows Rabbi Yehuda, that you don't have to be a professional trapper. Anybody can who finds such an animal upon chance can sell it. And the Rav tells us, how do we know the difference between selling upon chance or business? Because the Torah says, the Torah tells us by a nevela you could sell it to a goy. How we see from here, lo asra Torah ela lekayma nasod ben tzchua, you cannot do business with them. But if you chance upon it, you're allowed. Now, it's a dispute. Rabbi Yehuda Chachamim, Rabbi Yehuda says anyone chances upon it, it's allowed. Chachamim say specifically trappers who have this high tax. But again, like we said, the Rav tells us that anybody who happens to chance upon it can sell it. Now, that is then Rabotai Mishnah Dad. Mishnah Hey again returns to the discussion about which items of Shemitah produce are subject to bi'ul. We learned that since bi'ul is required for produce only when its species becomes unavailable in the fields for wild animals to eat, bi'ul is not required for plants that can endure in the ground, which are available for animals to have for a long time. So the Mishnah applies this rule to the shoots of trees. Now shoots, the Rambam explains, are the soft growth that sprout at the end of the branches where the tree blossoms. So the Mishnah says, Lulvei zeradim ve'charuvin, the shoots of the service tree and of the carob tree. Yesh lahem shviit, they have Shemitah sanctity because they are edible to humans. V'nidmen Sheviit, and the money exchanged for them as Shemitah sanctity. Yesh lehan bi'ul, they are subject to bi'ul because they wither. Because they wither and they fall off of the tree and they become unfit to eat even by wild animals. V'nidmen bi'ul, and the money exchanged for them is subject to bi'ul. Because again, since they fall off the tree and they become unfit to eat by wild animals, they have a deadline, right? They rot, they so to speak rot. V'nidmen bi'ul, and therefore their money also is subject to bi'ul. However, other trees are different. Lulvei ha'ela va'botna va'atidin, the shoots of the terebinth, which the dictionary defined it as a type of cashew tree, the pistachio tree and the thorn bush, yesh lehem Sheviit, they have Shemitah sanctity, v'nidmen Sheviit, and the money exchanged for them as Shemitah sanctity, en lehem bi'ul, but they are not subject to bi'ul because they remain on the tree. The Mefarshim explain the shoots of these plants, they do not wither and they don't fall off. Rather, they harden into branches and they remain on the tree. So since the shoots are still alive and growing, the species is not subject to bi'ul. And the money exchanged for them is not subject to bi'ul as well. The Mishnah continues, however, the leaves of all of these trees are subject to bi'ul, because they wither and they fall off of their branches and they become unfit to eat, even by wild animals, because unlike the shoots of the terebinth, this cashew tree, pistachio, and thorn bush, which are exempt from bi'ul because they harden and they remain on the tree, their leaves do require bi'ul because they wither and they fall off. That is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.